Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to the podcast. It's your boy D, episode 24. If there's hell below, you motherfuckers are definitely going. This episode is about God, the church, and politicians. And it's a lot of crazy shit that's been going on in the news this past week as far as politicians are concerned or politics are concerned. I'm not really a political guy, but, you know, I think that the things that have been going on this past week definitely need to be addressed. Somebody needs to say something about that shit. If nobody's talking about it, then, they're missing the boat. But before I move on to that, I want to do a quick, fast mental health check. Folks, how you doing? How's your mental health this week? Hopefully it is good. I had a counseling appointment this week that was very productive. Sat down and got some things out. Just therapy, just regular old therapy. Not regular old therapy, because all therapy, I believe, not all therapy, but therapy is beneficial. At least it's beneficial to me, so sat down, talked about some things that were bothering me from my childhood. We actually went all the way back to childhood to kind of start putting together where things started falling apart. So, but it was very productive, and she asked me if I wanted to do every 2 weeks or every week. I'm going to go every week because I think that the more I go, the quicker that I can, be on the mend. So mental health check this week was very positive, very good. And I hope that everybody else's mental health is in a good space right now because, like I said, things are, man, shit is crazy. It's just getting crazy. Want to give a shout out to Puerto Rico, man. For real. Puerto Rico, you are in our prayers. My sister-in-law, Angie, she lives in Guamo. Currently, right now, she has no power. Her home was damaged by water. I think she was able to get some of the water out of the house, but, there's still no power. She is eating, but like I said, there's still no power. She sent us pictures of, roads completely washed out, and it's really hard to believe that Puerto Rico is a United States Commonwealth and their infrastructure is just through the floor and nobody's really doing nothing about it. Like the last hurricane that went through there kind of ripped everything up, fucked the power grid up real good, and it's still the same thing. It's no change. It's almost like every time something like this happens, the whole island is like without power for some time, and that's, man, I can't even imagine that. We are spoiled here. I can't even imagine what it must be like. Let alone in Florida without air conditioning. In Puerto Rico, it must be, absolutely murderous. With no AC down there. That's crazy. But, the people down there are resilient and they're hardworking. They take care of each other. It is definitely, it's definitely community. So, shout out to Puerto Rico. If you want to help, now this is as per NPR. If you want to help, there's a couple of places that you can kind of go to. I hope I'm saying this right. The first one is Brigada Solidaria del Oeste. The Puerto Rican Mutual Aid Group they're asking for donations and essentials. Like water, water filters, stuff to purify the waters, like tablets, first aid kits, canned goods, so on and so forth. The whole deal. They're definitely collecting resources for the people of Puerto Rico. There's another one called Global Giving. Global Giving is a nonprofit also, and I think it connects other nonprofits with donors. They've launched a hurricane fund already. They're trying to raise $1 million, to help the people of the island, and other communities, not just, Puerto Rico, Haiti and the Dominican Republic and everything in the Caribbean, anything that was affected by the hurricane, they're picking up the slack to try to get them some help. Number 3 is the Hispanic Federation. It's also a nonprofit, and they provide support to Latin communities across the United States. And Taller, Taller, Salud. It's a women's nonprofit, and it's led by women. It's they're getting some relief efforts, to the island. They're accepting donations like everybody else. They're looking for food, but non-perishable food. They're looking for diapers, baby food, gallons of water, any kind of toiletries that you can spare, anything like that. These people down there, they really, really need our help. So if you guys are interested, those are some avenues that you can check. You can go to the website and visit, or you can find out on PayPal, and that's for the Taller Salud. You can go to the website, or they're taking donations via PayPal also. So, So my heart goes out to the people of Puerto Rico, and keep my sister-in-law in your prayers. Her name is Angie. They got a long road to hoe, before they're back on top side. So, moving right along to the Dope Shit Award this week. Martha's Vineyard gets the Dope Shit Award, and the reason why they get the Dope Shit Award is because, they get the Dope Shit Award for accepting, housing, feeding, and respect and treating those people, the refugees, respectfully. After they were lied to pretty much by, and human trafficked by the Florida governor. I don't even want to say his name. And I don't care. I really don't care who's listening to this. You know what I'm saying? If you got a problem with it, change the channel. But this dude DeSantis, I could figure, I could see 10 other motherfuckers that'd be better for the job, because it's just to the point where, the governors of these states, they just act in any kind of way, all willy-nilly. They don't give a damn about none of us. They just care about their own political careers and how to further that shit. So, shout out to Massachusetts, Martha's Vineyard, for picking up the slack for these bullshit-ass governors down here in the South. Let me not say the South. Let me not do that. The bullshit governor from Texas and the bullshit ass governor from Florida. I'll say it like that. You know what I'm saying? So if you got problems with me, hit me in my fucking DMs and we could go at it all day. But that's pretty much where I stand with it, because I just think it's detestable that somebody could treat people that way. I mean, they're human beings. They're not animals. They're not dogs. They're not, less than us. They're not. They're human beings. But it seems like, people forget that. Everybody's talking about, immigration and the borders. And I put it like this. I'm going to tell you what, just like this, with the exception of the black people in this country, because we were brought here. Everybody else that came to this country, your grandfather, your great-grandfathers, your great-great-great-grandfathers, guess what? They were immigrants first. Did you hear what I said? Your fucking great-grandfather was an immigrant. But you could sit right here and you could treat these people, these immigrants, you could treat these people like, less than a piece of toilet paper with shit on it. And then nothing to say. And I hope there's some people, they're suing. They're starting to file some suits against the governor of Florida, the state I live in. And, I hope they get this motherfucker, because not for nothing, what he did was just unacceptable, man. That's some crass shit. And like I said, if you don't like me, you don't like me. Don't tune into this shit no more. Don't listen. I really don't care. Because at the end of the day, I care about people, man. I don't give a shit about closing off the borders, because, their argument, there are criminals and rapists. And you know what? There's criminals and rapists that were already here that are American citizens. So miss me with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? These people are fucking people. Get it through your fucking head, DeSantis, for real. So that's all I want to say about that. Moving on to earbuds. My earbuds this week, man, I figured, I guess I would, I wanted to give it the college try, the college try, but earbuds this week is P&B Rock. And rest in peace, brother, man. I mean, it's sad the way they did you, man. It really is, man. And like I said, we still out here doing it to ourselves. It's crazy bullshit, but we still out here doing it to ourselves. know what I'm saying? I think somebody else just got killed too. You know what I mean? On some bullshit, man. You know, I mean, hip hop started to hip hop was to combat that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You know, people was breakdancing to not fight. You know, that's what hip hop was created for. You know what I'm saying? To settle things peacefully. But, you know, people just, they get arrogant. They get a little bit of money. And they think, you know, they shit don't stink. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they disrespecting everybody. They parents, elders, everybody. They don't care. You know, so, you know, I want to say that, I mean, honestly, I haven't listened to a whole lot of his music. But I did listen to some things this week, a few tracks this week. And he's got a song called Middle Child with Triple X, with XXX Intention, or whatever his name was. And actually, that's it's a pretty good song, but I just, I had to sit there and think about it. You know, both these dudes have been shot and killed. Both the dudes that sang this song have been shot and killed. You know what I'm saying? On some straight up bullshit. I mean, when is it going to stop? When are we going to stop it? You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to give it up today. You know what I'm saying? But I know one way we could stop it, folks. And that's if you guys, anybody out here cares to do anything about it. And it starts right here. Start telling on motherfuckers. Start telling on people, man. Start telling on people. Pharrell said it best. I snitch. I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to some stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? The dude who, shot Nipsey, he in court right now. I mean, it's crazy, man. These dudes are just out here wilding out, killing people on some petty bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Now your whole life is fucked up on some pettiness. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, give him a listen, man. He's got a song out called Selfish, another song Every Day, and Forever Never. Those are the songs that I kind of listen to. And from what I heard, from him, I mean, like I said, I hadn't really listened to a whole lot of his music, but from what I heard, I enjoyed. It definitely is, younger style hip hop, but I definitely enjoyed it. I like the beats. I make beats, so anything that has a decent beat, I'm gonna give it the college try and listen anyway. So, all the songs have pretty good beats. So I was, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was gonna be on some like straight up trash, but he did definitely have something to say. And the brother was talented, and unfortunately, his life was cut short on somebody bullshit trying to rob people for bullshit. And people need to stop doing that shit, man. Stop robbing motherfuckers. It's just that simple, man. Stop robbing people. Go work. These people went out and worked for their shit, man. They went out and worked. But you lazy motherfuckers out here shooting people, trying to wear somebody else's jewelry that you done stole. Cause come on, man. Stand up, man. It'll be better than that. Be better. Moving along to the strain of the week. Yeah, this one was pretty good. It was a little mild. The girl at the dispensary, she said it was pretty decent, but it was actually kind of mild. I mean, it did do, it handled its business, but it was still very mild. So the strain of this week is Dirty Girl, and it is a sativa dominant hybrid, and it's like a cross between Trainwreck and Cinderella 99. And I think Cinderella 99 I actually had as one of the strain of the weeks earlier, which I did enjoy that a lot. But the flavors like pine and citrus, has a little bit of pineapple in it. It's good for stress. It definitely helped with my depression and anxiety. It is also good for headaches. But the one thing I did like about it is that, it puts you in the mood. It gets you nice and aroused. So, I went in there and had to put it on my lady, a couple of times, and that's... I'm gonna give it for that. I give it a straight up 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? Creativity, and even creativity in the bedroom. That shit was dope. So yeah, this strain of the week is Cinderella 99, and it gets an 8 out of 10 for this week's strain of the week. I'm gonna take a quick fast break, and when I come back, we are gonna get into what's popping this week. If there's hell below, you motherfuckers are definitely going. You're listening to the Deron Harris Podcast.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
Still the only one cats ask for by name.
All right, folks, welcome back. I'm back. So, what am I talking about today? If there's hell below, you motherfuckers are definitely going. And what it is I want to know, why do politicians portray themselves to be upstanding Christians when they're not? They do so many things that are not, that no Christian would do. You know, it's so crazy. Trump's holding up the Bible, and do you really honestly believe that this man believes in God? Really? You know, I really don't. I have a hard time believing that this dude believes in God. You know what I'm saying? Especially the way he's treating the Bible. He's just holding it up like it's a ham sandwich. Like it ain't even, like it's not even that important. He couldn't recite anything in the Bible. So my next question is when these dudes do shit like this, why do we believe them? You know, why do we believe them? Oh, I'm upstanding. I'm going to protect you guys, and I'm going to vote for this, and I'm going to fight for that. And they're full of shit. Why do we believe them? Why? Why do we believe them? You know why? Because we're sheep. We're sheep. We have nothing else to do. You know, we follow behind these dudes blindly. I mean, it's crazy. I'm like the Trump supporters, which are now kind of turning into the DeSantis supporters. They crazy. You know, these cats crazy. They don't care. They don't care that these people lie. They don't care that they got caught lying. You know, it's just they like the attitude is what it is. They like that attitude. That better than you, that holier than thou. The left is bullshit and the right is, the only way to be. And I just think it's dumb. I think both political parties are stupid, actually, if you ask me, the Democrats and Republicans. Because like I said, we're fucking fighting each other. I said this last week. We're fighting each other for nothing. You know, Americans are fighting Americans. I've watched good friends turn into enemies over some shit, over people that don't even care about you. They don't know you. They don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? But you ready to go to the grave defending their ideologies and their bullshit. I don't get it. I don't get it. I require a lot more than just the shit that we're being fed from today's politicians. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of Biden either. You know what I'm saying? You know, while we're on the subject, I'm not really a fan of his either. You know, but, the lesser of two evils. You know, so, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why they do it. Because, not just politicians, but the Christians also. There's a lot of Christians out there, like evangelical Christians. They use the Bible and rework principles in the Bible to fit their narrative. You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't fit their narrative, they bend it. I don't know if you guys even knew this. Did you know that the Southern Baptist Church used to teach? Now, this was in church. They used to teach that being black was a curse. It was a sin and a curse from God by being black. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is that? But that's church. You know what I'm saying? That's holier than thou. And I guarantee you, God never said that. The Lord never said that. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of problems, man. And there's problems with the church too. You know, not just politics. It's problems with the church too. You know what I mean? My mother's a preacher. You know what I mean? You know, she has her own church. You know, and I'm not here to put anybody down, but there are problems in church. Major problems. For one, there's too much backsliding. There's people who claim to be these upstanding Christians, but then turn around and, call you nigga right in your face. You know, what kind of Christian shit is that? You know what I'm saying? And for two, they're in everybody's business. A lot of these Christians, a lot of these church Christians, these evangelical Christians, they're in your business. That's a Republican way anyway, to just be in everybody's business. But just to be in your way. Just get out my business, man. This shit ain't got nothing to do with you, bruh. But they are in your business. And and for me, it's getting increasingly harder to believe the people that run the church. You know what I'm saying? The people that run the church are, they're just regular people, man. They're not special people. They weren't chosen by God and handpicked by Nope. You're a regular dude. You work down at Kenny Shoes. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. You're not nobody special. You know what I'm saying? You're not, especially like the Pope and all of that shit. Who the fuck is the Pope, man? I really don't subscribe to that, because basically the Pope is quote unquote God's liaison on earth. You know what I'm saying? He is the incarnation of God on earth. And please. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Especially with all these Catholic priests out here fucking these little boys. Come on. Stop it. Need to stop playing. So, well, the one thing I wanted to know, though, is what the Bible actually said about politics and politicians. And let's not forget now, okay? Now check this out. And I'm probably going to get back some feedback from this, but I really don't care. But check this out. God nor Jesus wrote a single word in the Bible. The Bible was written by man. And all men are flawed. And the Bible part of it was written hundreds of years after the Lord died. You know what I'm saying? So the Bible was written by man. And men, correct me if I'm wrong, men are pretty self-serving. Man is pretty self-serving. Let's put it like that. But anyway, Proverbs 31 verses 8 and 9 say this: defend the rights of the poor and needy. Pray for candidates in elections. Ask God to direct them to uphold justice and care for people in need and all who are vulnerable in our own country and the world. That's what it says in the Bible. But we got politicians running around here holding the Bible up, but still human trafficking people across state lines, kicking people to the curb, breaking up families. Yeah. Yeah, I'll pray for you motherfuckers, all right. I pray that the Lord has mercy on your soul for the bullshit that you guys have been doing. Not to just the American citizens, but the citizens of the world. Over there, you too, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping, all you motherfuckers out there controlling the world. It's really just beef between y'all. The rest of us ain't really got shit to do with that. I ain't got no problems with this dude over here. He ain't got no problem with me. But because Russia got a problem with the United States got a problem with Russia, and China got a problem with now we all got to have a problem. You know what I'm saying? Now, this dude's talking about, if the West interferes, that they're going to retaliate with nuclear weapons. Great. I have nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? But it's all this tough talk. And like I said, leave us out of it. Put you motherfuckers in a cage and y'all fight it out. How about that? You can fight it to the death if you want to, but leave us the fuck out of it. Period. So, it's just, to me, it's just sad. How we just let this stuff perpetuate. I don't know if we can ever get back to a place where we actually have people who genuinely care for the people of the country, not just their political career. Because let's just pull it while we at it. Just pull the wool all the way off. They don't give a fuck about us. They care about their political career because they just want power. That's all it is. Power. They want to stay in power. They want to maintain their power at other people's expense. It's so shitty. It is the shittiest of shows. And I'm just not really feeling it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not feeling, what the governor of Florida did, man. I'm just not, man. I'm just not. And if you think if you think that what he did was acceptable, then maybe this ain't the podcast for you. You know what I'm saying? So, because we just going to disagree. Now, like I said, you could drop any comment in my DMs you want to. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely feel some type of way about the way this man did these people. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's going to do it for what's popping this week. I just wanted to say something about what was going on with the refugees, because, I mean, just sitting there watching this happen to these people is just, wow, man. I just can't believe it. It's families, man, little children, just searching for a better life, just searching, trying to escape, things that are going on in their country. You know what I mean? People like, oh, they're crossing the border and they're getting all these benefits and so on and so forth and blah, 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 blah. Well, they're going to need something. They came here with nothing. But I'll tell you what, everything's right here for us always. It's been here. It's just we're lazy. A lot of us are lazy. You know what I'm saying? They get mad. Oh, they're coming here and taking the jobs. But do you want to get your ass out there and clean the grease trap out of this restaurant? Nope. So guess who's going to do it? The dudes that came up here from out of this country. You want to get your ass out there and cut the grass? Nope. But guess who's going to do it? The dude that came here as a refugee, trying to feed his family. That's who's going to do it. And they're always, oh, there's rapists and murderers. Well, what about the hardworking people who come here? The ones that work hard. I know a lot of them. That have come here. I used to work at a place in New York called the Canal Room. And it was 2 other places before that. And the people who owned it, they were in the building for 30 years. They had 3 nightclubs in the same building for 30 years. And all the busboys, they were from Mexico. They were all from Mexico. And they all worked there for 30 years. Every single one of them. They worked there from the time they opened to the time they closed. They were all family. But they worked there from, when it was, the New Music Cafe, and then they would work there when it was Shine, and then they worked there when it was the Canal Room. And all those places were open in excess of 10 years. And them dudes, they built it. They built every single place that they had. They tore everything out and built everything back. Tore everything out and built everything back. And we loved them. They busted their ass. Nacho, Rudy, a lot of these cats busted their asses. You know what I'm saying? But, we want to give them a hard time because all they want to do is come here and work, even though we don't want to. Kind of stupid if you ask me, but there it is. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for what's popping this week. I'm going to take a quick, fast break, and when I come back, relationship goals is going to take a it's going to take a detour. So stay tuned. I'll be right back.
At Marshall's, our buyers hustle every day for the brands you love. Tell me about the leather booties. Is that crystal? Silk? At that price? You've got a deal. With great deals always in store, come in and get more of the good stuff. Marshall's, get the good stuff.
Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to the Deron Harris Podcast. I'm your host, Deron Harris. Relationship goals, that's what it is. But what's going to happen is I think I'm going to change relationship goals. It's still going to be relationship goals, but it's going to be packaged a little bit different. It is now called RV Life with the Wife. And so the relationship goals will be embedded within RV Life with the Wife, because it's pretty much what it is. We are full-time RVers. We currently are in a campground in North Florida. I'm actually doing my podcast as we speak from the front seat of my Class A motorhome. And we love it. We should have done this a long time ago. And this week, we've got some things to do. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a heartburn. I had some pasta, went and cooked my mom dinner, and had a little bit of pasta. But we got into some things this week. We got some pallets out front, in the back, because we're actually going to build ourselves a deck, because we'll probably be here for a few months, so might as well be comfortable. get ourselves up off of the dirt, because one thing about a campground is there's a lot of dirt, and so you track a lot of dirt into your camper. So we want to try to get like a deck going so that we can put like a mat outside so that we can actually wipe our feet, leave our shoes outside, et cetera, so we don't track a bunch of dirt in here for nothing. But we have been, last week's goals were planning, and that was the week before also. We're going to plan, our future, and we're still planning, and that is the ongoing thing. We're continuing our planning phase to try and see where we're going to head next. We've found some decent locations that are here in Florida, so we want to try to stay in Florida for a little while, until we get our feet underneath us before we start trying to leave the state, headed west or north or somewhere like that. We're just trying to make sure that we have our legs underneath us. Hate to get someplace and not really know what the fuck we're doing. So I definitely want to sit here and take some time, read through all the manuals. If there's anything that's going to break, it needs to break here. But so far, so good. So far, so good. Today, I jumped in the driver's seat. I haven't turned over the engine in about a month. I turned it over, and it started right up like a dream. So I feel pretty confident about the engine. Our generator is still out. We still have to get it serviced. So currently, right now, we're unable to boondock because we don't have our generator working, so we can't run the air conditioner. Not until it's cooler outside. Once it's cooler outside, we can probably do a little bit more, get away with a little bit more. But right now, it's still hitting 85, 90 during the day, and that's just uncomfortable for anything. So we definitely need to run the air conditioner. Definitely have to have the generator working in order to take a trip and be someplace off grid for a short while. Got to do some maintenance to the black tank also. There was an issue with it. Nothing like spillage or anything like that, but it's I don't think it's emptying itself all the way, so I have to have somebody come and look at that. But it's just some of those things that are going to take place. That some of the things that are going to happen to you while you're RVing. And like I said, this lifestyle isn't for everyone, but if you're curious about it, I wholeheartedly suggest that you do your research. Figure out what you like, what's best for you, or you and your person, or you and your people. Figure out what's best, and plan accordingly. Just don't jump into it willy-nilly, because you'll run into some shit that you were not prepared for. We were fortunate. We actually did a lot of research. We were researching this for, like I said, better than a year. So that's why we feel, we were saying today we love our house. And yeah, it's on wheels, but it's still a house. And I'm always going to feel this way about it, because I've always wanted to do this. And since we've started doing it, even though we haven't really been anywhere, you feel free. There's a lot of freedom with it. There's a lot of opportunity to be free. And that just makes me more and more excited every day to get on the road and start seeing the country, start seeing and learning some things and meeting people and, living life, trying to live my best life. So, all right, folks, I think that is going to do it for episode 24 of the Deron Harris Podcast. If there is hell below, you motherfuckers are definitely going. And I don't know, I might even see you there myself. So, I'd like to thank my wife, as always. She is my rock, and she encourages me to continue to push, and she supports me, unconditionally, and I love her to death for that, and I want to thank her for that. I'd like to thank my best friend, Jesse Yandel, for giving me the courage and believing in me that I could actually pull this off. I also want to thank my producer, Gentry Thomas, for giving me the platform and the time slot to do my podcast and share my life with you guys. So I do appreciate all of you and all of the three that I mentioned, but I do, most importantly, I appreciate my listeners, the people that are actually listening to me. I want to shout out my friend Margarita. She actually listened to it today for the first time. She said it was great. She really enjoyed the relationship goals part because, she's going through some things as far as her relationships are concerned, but, she said that, it was definitely interesting. It helped her. And that's all that's what I'm here for. So I'm glad that I could do that. And anybody else, if you got some questions about, some relationships you want to try to, inbox me. I'll try and see. Maybe me and my wife will sit down and answer some of your letters and see if we can't come up with a solution for you or something, whatever. So. All right, folks, I think that's going to do it for me for today. Tune back in next, and they're coming out on Fridays. They've been coming out on Fridays. I've had 24 episodes come out on Friday, so stay tuned this Friday. Stay tuned for next Friday. I'm not sure what I'll be talking about, but I'm sure it'll be somewhere along the lines of RV life with the wife. So, till next time, I'm Deron Harris. This is the Deron Harris Podcast. Peace.